Hi everyone, it is day 10 of our 30 Days of Flowers challenge, and we have this very pretty flower to do today. I've grabbed my Arteza premium pencils, these ones that are in the tube. Sorry, it's a bit blurred, it's a bit too close to the camera. I've shoved them all out on my desk in a big mess, but oh dear. But I'm going to use some purples. I think there's some nice purples in this set. I'm just grabbing some. I haven't spread them out, so I'm sorry, excuse the rustle. I think I'm going to use these three. So I'll tell you as we go what they are. And they are, I always put their names in the description. This is Eggplant Purple. I'm just going to make a start. Yes, so I always put the names in the description of what I'm using and the brand, so that if you want to, you can pause it and go and grab your pencils before you start, if you want to do that, and colour along right away. So what I'm doing on this one is I'm making it darker at the bottom. Quite often I will make the flower darker at the top, but actually it's quite fun to mess around with it a little bit. And also I think the light would catch it at the top, so it would actually be would be darker at the bottom. Now with these, we've got these lines here, and we could colour it so that those are darker, so that it looks like the plant is sort of folded is not the right word, pleated almost in with the petals, but that's quite complex and they're quite small. So I'm just going to keep it really simple and just colour it all in one shade. As I say, you could get a darker colour and do some shading in there and in here. But no. And I would, if you're going to do that, I would use a bit of this in a hard stroke. But you could also use, a very dark grey. You could use a black, a really dark sort of indigo-y blue. That sort of thing would work. Now I'm not very keen on how red that is, as I wanted a purpley picture. So with my Amethyst purple, I'm actually going to colour right over the top of that and then take it up the flower a little more. So I just had to sharpen. You know me, I like really sharp pencils. You don't have to go this sharp, but I struggle to stay in the lines even with a sharp pencil. So I am just giving myself a chance of keeping it in the lines. So I'm sort of fading it as we go up, so reducing my pressure on the pencil. This is a bit messy, so I'm just going to go back over it a little bit. I'm struggling to see it today. The light has gone very odd. It's been dark all day today, and I've got my lamp on. I've got the main light on as well, and that creates all these shadows, but at least it's bright enough to see. Because the thing is, I can have my lamp on only, which works okay for you because my camera adjusts and the lamp adjusts, which is really good. But then if I've got anything on my desk that isn't directly under the lamp, I can't see it because it's too dark. So I have to put the main light on as well for me. So it just now fade it up here. Just a very light, gentle layer. I said this before, but if you struggle with getting a difference between your pressure, light and gentle, I mean light and hard, it's best to go light if you can and just build those layers up. If you struggle to get a light layer, then just practice and practice. Just touching the paper really gently with the pencil. It does take a lot of patience to build up layers rather than just pushing down really hard, but it is worth it. So you get a nice effect. But as I say, yeah, it takes patience, and it means the pictures take longer to finish. But sometimes I feel like I want to get a picture done really quickly. So tips for that: use a small book, so the page is small, the picture is small. Use something that doesn't demand a background, or you can just do an easy, quick pastel background. And last one, lavender. Choose your pencil / pen carefully. If you colour with pen, it can be very quick. You only need one layer. It may not look the way you want it though. Depends what you want. If you use a vibrant pencil, you don't need as many layers. So I would say something like Arteza Expert pencils, not these. The Arteza Experts, they're very smushy and vibrant. You can get away with less layers with them, and you get a nice finish. And there are other pencils that do that better. Polychromos, no, lots of layers. Yeah, or just do something really light. So keep it light, purposely leave the paper showing through. So it doesn't matter if you're not layering up. So those are different options for you, really. So it should help you to, do something quickly. Sometimes it's just nice to... Oh, another idea would be to do a picture that you've almost finished already. So if you've got lots of unfinished pictures, I'm just choosing my next colour while I'm talking to you. I've got that one. Because they're all higgledy-piggledy, takes a bit of looking. So yes, if you've got an unfinished picture, and you've got a little bit left, these two greens, then that might be one that you can just get done. Okay. So you could have a look for those. So this is forest green. Forest green is very odd, not the colour, the name, because where I live, our town doesn't have a very good football team. I've never heard of it. I don't even know what it's called. But soccer, for those of you not in the UK. But even though a lot of people in the UK really hate the term soccer, I don't know why. It's just because it's not what we use. We use football. So we don't have one, but well, we do, but I just don't know of it. But our near neighbours have got one called Forest Green Rovers. The area they're in, I guess, is called Forest Green. It must be. I see it on buses. I've never been there. Not a football fan, so don't go and watch matches ever. I've watched a few on the telly, not Forest Green, to say they're not in a top league, I think is the word. I'm so ignorant when it goes terribly. I'm going to do a dark piece along here to show, because there'll be some shadow from this leaf. And this one I just generally want to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to take this dark colour quite a long way across the leaf. So yeah, and I think they're about to have a new stadium built. There's been a bit of a hoo-ha about it in the local paper, but to be honest, I haven't been following it that closely. And as I say, not being a football-y person, it's not really... Do watch football when it's the World Cup. Okay, now I'm going in with the mint green. It might be a little bit too light. I might have to go back in with the forest to sort of blend up. But we'll just see how it looks and works. So yeah, if the World Cup's on and England are playing, I'll watch that. Or if it's in the Olympics, I find it quite interesting because there are different rules with the Olympics, because you're not supposed to be a professional athlete in the Olympics, but they're bringing in sports where, like tennis, where all the athletes are professional. So what they've done with the football, as far as I'm aware, again, not being particularly knowledgeable, is that a certain percentage of the players have to be under 25, I think it was. So the teams are young. And that means that you can't have all the best players in the team, and it makes it more interesting. Unfortunately, England don't play in the Olympics, except when we hosted the Olympics. And that's because in the Olympics we aren't England, we're the United Kingdom. For those of you not in the UK, it is complicated. So the UK is made up of 4 parts: England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Ireland being to the left of our country. Now, in things like the Commonwealth Games or World Championships, all of those nations are represented on their own. I'm really going out of the lines here. I'm just going to erase a little bit. So Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland have their own national teams. But in the Olympics, for some reason, we compete. I'm going to go over, this one's really messy. I'm going to go over it again. We compete as the United Kingdom, so all 4 nations together, which means in order to form a football team, we have to somehow have an agreement where who's going to represent the United Kingdom. Do we have the Welsh team? Do we have the Scottish team, the English team, the Northern Irish team, or do we have a new team made up of players from each of the countries? And if we do, how do we decide who goes in it? So, and I think that last thing is what they ideally try to do. They want a team made up from each country, but of course every country thinks their team is the best and their players are the best, and they can never seem to come to an agreement as to what to do. So we don't tend to have a team, which is a shame. I think that we can't be grown up enough to come to to do something and come up with a team. But anyway, all that wittering on and complaining about football, and I have finished this picture. I'm not going to do a background for this one. I'm just not inspired. I cannot think of what to do, and I just may not do any for any of the others. You know, I'm not a biggie for little backgrounds, but I just wanted to give you a few ideas, so if you felt it looked a bit plain, you could just do something. I mean, you could just do an oval shape around, just draw a circle and then leave it. You don't even have to fill it in. You know, you could do that, or you could do dots and dashes and things like on that one. You know, it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. But anyway, I'm going to stop wittering on and leave you to the rest of your day. So I hope you've had a good day so far. Enjoy the rest of it. Please try and do some colouring. Happy colouring to everyone.